I used to go to Pizza Hut and I used to go to Pizza Hut and I would order under funny names. And one time I was Quasimodo, and one time I was Mowgli. And then one time I went to a Domino's and I was like, right, I'm feeling real adventurous. And they asked me my name and I said, Adrian. And they went, Andrew? And I went, yeah.
One time, me and my friends ordered pizza, and we put our names as like John Rambo, John McClane, and a couple other things like that. And then we went to go pick up our pizza, and they'd cancelled our order because they didn't think it was real.
Welcome to the Cult Popture podcast. Today, we are talking about Disney's The Jungle Book franchise. And because this is one of the big franchises to have a live-action reboot of a Disney movie, we thought who better to get a guest on than none other than Beauty and the Beast's Dan Stevens.
Hello. I'm not that Dan Stevens. I'm actually considering a name change because of that Dan Stevens at the moment and having a stage name.
Dude, at least your name, you share a famous person's name with like a cool person. My name's Alex Jones. You know how much he's rising? And
I really like Alex Jones.
My name is Ricky Martin.
Dan or Daniel? What do you prefer?
Either or. Just call me Daniel.
Daniel is a comedian we know, and a fun thing about this episode of the podcast is that all three of us will find out in under an hour if we made it into the semi-finals of a comedy competition that we've all entered into. So that'll be fun.
For the housekeeping, I feel like you're talking the loudest.
Yeah.
And you're also way closer to the mic.
Well, everyone else should get this.
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm Danny. You need to.
It's all right.
Hunch over.
It's all good. Just screw it. We need to get like seats that don't roll.
I'm looking at the sound waves and they look about even.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
Cool.
The Jungle Book. Disney's The Jungle Book, to be specific. We didn't watch every Jungle Book film, though we did watch two more that we didn't expect. There are actually 5 films in the series, and up until, a night ago, I messaged you guys and I was like, there are 2 more Jungle Books that we didn't know about. So if you didn't know, dear listener, the first film came out in 1967 and it was called The Jungle Book, and it was directed by Wolfgang Reitherman. Imagine having that name. That'd be better than Alex Jones. I wish I was called Wolfgang Reitherman. And then, unbeknownst to us until a couple of days ago, in 1994, Stephen Sommers directed Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. Is that how you say it?
Well, I'd say.
Is that how you say Stephen Sommers and Rudyard Kipling?
I don't know about Stephen Sommers because it's an O. But
yeah.
I'd say it's Sommers and then Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard?
What's Rudyard Kipling?
Rudyard Kipling wrote the Jungle Book books in 1894.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then in 1998, we went to the familiar territory of straight to DVD releases and watched The Jungle Book Mowgli's Story, directed by Nick Mark. And that's Mark, spelled M-A-R-C-K.
Oh, wow.
Bet he was made fun of in high school. Then in 2003, we got The Jungle Book 2, directed by Steve Trenberth, which is a sequel and continuation from the 1967 Jungle Book. It was also the 3rd Disney theatrical sequel behind Rescuers Down Under and Peter Pan 2, Return to Neverland.
Sure, what a lineup.
And it doesn't really, I don't think it deserved necessarily a theatrical release. It
was barely a movie.
we'll get to it.
The Jungle Book 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's like 70 minutes long.
It is by far the best out of all of the Jungle Books.
Oh, come on. Then in 2016, we had Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book, which was, of course, the live-action remake Dan, you missed that one this time round. But we'll fill you in, I guess.
I'm pretty sure I watched it at the movies,
yeah.
but I can't remember much, and I couldn't find a legal copy online. So I've watched a bunch of trailers and a whole bunch of YouTube clips of the best part of the new Jungle Book.
Okay.
Just for the record, we don't condone this, and we recommend that you watch all the films.
For those of you playing at home. Fun fact about the original Jungle Book, fun couple facts, it was the last film Walt Disney worked on before he died. He actually died during production of the Jungle Book. And the original film, despite being pretty lackluster in its plot, is considered the gold standard in animation by such big players as Andreas Deeg, Glenn Keane, and Brad Bird.
Who are they?
I know Brad Bird.
Brad Bird directed The Incredibles.
And Tomorrowland.
And I don't know who the other ones are. But yeah,
so you just quoted some guy. These guys, who I don't know, think it was great.
Yeah, so what do you mean by gold standard?
Like the attention to detail in the animation, right. The like tweening and the way it looks was at the time very breathtaking, I guess. Right. Yeah, and so good in fact that it's been that a lot of the clips in the Jungle Book, the original Jungle Book, were recycled for Disney's Robin Hood, where they basically just painted over the original characters with similar looking characters. There are actually 14 Jungle Book films.
Yeah.
One on the way. So 13 and one on the way.
Yeah, because the Jungle Book the actual book is in the public domain, so
we
could make a movie about it.
We could.
We wouldn't have to pay rights.
Yeah, and so only these 5 were Disney, which is where I drew the line, thankfully. But yeah, before we go any further, Richard, can you give sort of a brief summation of what these movies are about? But can you do it in the voice of whichever iteration of King Louis that you choose?
He's not in most of them.
Well, maybe you don't have to do it at all then. Nah, do it. Do it out of
either Louis Armstrong or Christopher Walken.
Well, it wasn't Louis Armstrong, but it was
the Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
It was Louis Armstrong, wasn't it?
No, it was someone impersonating Louis Armstrong, whose name was also Louis.
That was quite... That one there, I felt weird racially. Because the only monkey in it was a black guy.
Yeah, I think from what it's a white guy doing kind of a black voice, because they thought it'd be racist to get Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, it still doesn't make it better.
Yeah. It's like, man,
maybe stop it making your monkeys minstrels. Like.
But basically, all of the... So one... Jungle Book 67. How are we going to identify these? Because most of them have the same.
Jungle Book 67, then in 1994, RKJB. Yeah, RK's JB. Then Mowgli's Story. Then Jungle Book 2. Then TJB 2K16.
TJB 2K16. Alright, so for the record, JB 67, Mowgli's Story, and TJB 2K16 all have the same plot.
Yep, so that's the 1967, the 1998 straight to DVD, and 2016 live action.
So that's basically, they all involve a man cub named Mowgli who goes to the jungle and gets raised by a pantheon of characters. Namely, a panther, Bagheera.
You're going into some...
I just get quieter and quieter. and a bear called Baloo.
Yeah.
And then, so that's all the plot of those three movies.
And there's a tiger.
There's a tiger, Shere Khan, who's the king of the tigers, and he's after them. And then they involve fire as well. So King Louis, who's a big monkey, wants fire. Shere Khan's afraid of fire. Yeah. And then, so JB, RK's JB, 1994, is like, the setup's the same, but then it skips ahead 20 years.
Yeah.
So Mowgli re-meets up with his like childhood friend who thought they'd died, and then they go back into the jungle and everything like that. And then Jungle Book 2 is set after the first Jungle Book, and he's booked it out of the jungle, and he wants to make it back into the jungle. And Shere Khan's after him again, and blah, 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 blah.
So you could almost say that 4 of the 5 are the same story. It's just one of them tries to be a sequel.
Yeah.
What was your favourite, guys? Which was your favourite Jungle Book?
Jungle Book 2.
That's insane. Richard?
JB 2K16.
Yeah, I'm going to go JB 2K16 as well. I would rank them JB 2K16, the Jon Favreau version, then probably JB 67, then probably RK's JB, then JB2. This is so hard to follow. Yeah. And then Mowgli's Story, which was a joke of a film.
Yeah.
Was that the one we watched today with the little kid?
Yeah. That was just ridiculous. That was a ridiculous film. You're going to tell me you loved it.
I quite liked it. Here's what I would say. Mm-hmm. I would say... because it's all about when you watch the film.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen any Jungle Books before starting watching these a week ago.
Okay.
So the first one shocked me a little bit about how weird and shit it was.
Yeah.
But how much everyone loved it. So that one drops down to... And then I watched Jungle Book 2 and I was like, oh yeah, I get this now. Right. It's just a kids movie.
Right.
It's a terrible kids movie along the lines of Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's pretty good. Enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say Jungle Book, the original, number 2.
Yeah.
I would say the trailers of the remake, number 3. And then I would say the little kid one.
Yeah.
And then the last one is where the animals don't talk. That was really boring.
At least it was different though. After watching essentially the same movie 4 times, it was nice to get a movie that was kind of different.
Yeah, I could see why you'd think that, but I'd go Jon Favreau's, and then
it's all just a mix.
And then probably Jungle Book 2.
There are ones that are made better.
Jungle Book 2 is a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I probably liked it more than the original.
What? It's just the same. No, like
the baby's cute. I like the baby.
Yeah.
I think
the music's better.
It's only better because it's just building on what was already a basic story. We basically saw the same movie over and over again, and it kind of got better for a few times in a row, and then got worse.
Well, it's just that Jon Favreau's is like the only good one.
Yeah. Well, okay, look, and I'm sure in 1967 the Jungle Book was amazing. It was like, this is so awesome to look at. The songs are great. The voice acting's incredible. The animation's incredible. But you have all those ticks, and then it's like plot. It isn't really one.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe that doesn't quite fly. Or maybe it was just because Favreau was able to work in what I assume is a lot of Rudyard Kipling's book. Because so basically the main difference is that fire, or they call fire the red flower, is a huge part of Favreau's Jungle Book. It's a motif. It's sort of like the driving force of it. And not so much in the original cartoon, it's mentioned once or twice around King Louis. And then in the straight-to-DVD one we watched, Mowgli's Story, which is also live action, by the way, they talk about it again. They talk about red flower, and they talk about the waterhole being like the truce of all the animals, which wasn't in the 1967 version, but was in the 2016 version. So unless Favreau also took inspiration from 1998's direct-to-video Mowgli's Story,
which maybe he did.
I would assume that he's taking a lot out of,
I'd love to know what Jon Favreau thinks of the 2 live-action ones.
Yeah.
If he's annoyed that they beat him to it.
I kind of remember the first live-action one, the Stephen Summers one.
It must have been Colgate Saturday Night Feature.
Yeah, it feels very...
The Borrowers.
Yeah, it feels very Borrowers. It feels very Indian in the cupboard, and that sounds more racist than I meant it to be. I mean, more in movie tone than anything else. It's the most mature of all of them. Most realistic, because the animals don't talk, but wasn't that great?
Indian in the Cupboard. That is a movie I've not heard in years.
Exactly, and that's like being reminded that the Stephen Summers Jungle Book existed felt like it awakened some like deep nestled like nostalgic moment in my life, and I was like, I've seen this movie in my auntie and uncle's house. They had it on videotape, and they wanted to put it on so I would shut up when I was like 4 years old. Like, that's the type of movie it feels like. And I don't know if that's a real memory or something that just feels right.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
What did the critics think?
Well, the Jungle Book, 1967, has a 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. But of course it would, right? It's a classic Disney film.
Yeah.
It makes sense. My partner's dad,
Yeah.
favourite movie of all time, the original Jungle Book.
Wow. What's your partner's dad into?
I don't know, South African things.
He hates movies.
But like, he would have watched it when he was a kid and blown his mind.
Yeah.
It's like how Beauty and the Beast now is one of my favourite movies, the original cartoon.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But it's just, I watched it at that period of time.
Yeah, I'm sure it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book, Stephen Summers' version, has a 79%.
Wow.
Which is actually pretty good. And yeah, I'm sure for a 1994, under the radar adventure film, it was pretty good. Stephen Summers is a good director. Mowgli's Story doesn't have a rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It does have an audience rating of 31%. It has a 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh.
The Jungle Book 2 has 19%.
Holy shit! Wow.
On Tomatoes, any thoughts, Dan?
I'm a little offended, to be honest. It's a kids' movie.
Yeah.
The people who are reviewing it are not reviewing it as a kids' movie.
Yeah, that's just unfair.
And Jon Favreau's Jungle Book has a 95%.
Yeah, good.
So that is actually the highest rated. And to be honest, I think anyone who says that the original is better than the Favreau version, it's like
only watch the trailers for the Favreau version.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like it should be as good as it is, but it's real captivating. It's a real nice story. The only thing I would really fault it on is they kind of breeze over the songs, which are like particularly Bare Necessities and Wanna Be Like You. I love those songs. I think they're great.
Yeah, but at the same time, the way they did the story, it would be kind of silly.
Yeah.
But then, like the way they were talking about that Bare Necessities, they incorporate quite well.
Yeah.
Because it's diegetic. The characters are actually having fun and singing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I Want to Be Like You, he just starts singing his emotions.
Yeah.
And it's the only time in the film the character does it.
Scarlett Johansson, who plays Kaa the snake, her rendition of Trust in Me is in the credits and not in the film. So there's no canon version of her singing it to Mowgli, which I feel would have remedied the kind of mismatch you have there of is it a musical, is it not a musical. But I would say, though, that concerns me for the upcoming Lion King live-action remake, because that's being made by Jon Favreau. And if Jon Favreau didn't think that the classic songs from the Jungle Book were important enough to focus on...
No, but there's two good songs in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
And there's
a lot of... Me's good.
There's a lot of good ones in the Lion King. Like, the Lion King's a musical. The Jungle Book is a bunch of scenes strewn together, a few of which have songs in them, two of which are good.
But that still makes me concerned, because it's easy to make a good movie out of the Jungle Book, whereas the Lion King's like... It's one of the best movies ever made, man. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts, Dan?
It does concern me, actually.
Yeah.
Now that because I was very relaxed about the Lion King. I was very relaxed.
Yeah.
But now that you say, I am quite concerned.
Yeah. Like, are we going to get, like...
I will be pissed off if they just mumble a few of the end lines.
Yeah. If instead of like Scar singing Be Prepared, he sings like 2 lines and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you either have to not do any of them, and we just get a Hamlet with lions, or you're literally just using the same soundtrack but with better graphics.
And this brings us back to a conversation we've had a couple times on the podcast, but Daniel told us he hadn't listened to any of them, so we can bring him up to speed.
I listen sometimes.
Oh, okay. Did you listen to the live action Disney one we did?
Yep.
Sweet. All right, moving. No, I think it's just that The Lion King has iconic voice acting in it, whereas Beauty and the Beast and The Jungle Book didn't.
Yeah.
So you can remake them without hurting anyone's feelings by who you're casting.
Yeah.
Are they going to get Elton John back for The Lion King?
No idea. The only person I've got back so far is James Earl Jones to play Mufasa.
Yeah, so it seems like they're doing kind of a Blink thing with the lions. Because you've got James Earl Jones is voicing Mufasa, Donald Glover's playing Simba, and they're looking at Beyonce for Nala. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, like I can see why you'd keep James Earl Jones as your thread, and then but also still managing to do the rest of it different. Yeah. But then, because Scar's the only other do not mess with this voice, I would say, you know.
Oh, what about Zazu? There's so many voice actors.
Yeah, there's so many great voice actors, but James Earl Jones is iconic.
Yeah.
And then, but whereas I would say Scar, Jeremy Irons is probably the only other one that's you would say, oh, don't mess with this one. Because I could see you getting Key and Peele for Timon and Pumbaa or something like that. Like pick a comedy duo that
Continue the black theme.
Yeah, continue the black theme. And then, I don't know, you get Michael B. Jordan for Zazu or something like that. Yeah. Just like...
Eddie Murphy. And then Whoopi Goldberg for the hyena.
Exactly.
While we're on the topic of this, and to try and swing it back to the Jungle Book, fun little piece of trivia. Baloo, the bear, is played by someone, I can't remember who, he also played Little John in the Disney Robin Hood. But then in Mowgli's story, he's played by...
Brian Doyle Murray.
Whose brother is...
Bill Murray.
Who plays...
Baloo.
In...
The Jungle Book.
2016. And in The Jungle Book 2, he's played by John Goodman. And in Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book, he's played by an actual bear. So there's some fun stuff. I thought that Bill Murray was a bit of a poor choice for Baloo.
I think he was a good choice. I just don't think Bill Murray's a very good actor.
He's a good actor. He's not a good voice actor.
Who played Shere Khan in the Jungle Book 2?
In Jungle Book 2? I don't know.
Because it's someone doing an exact impersonation of Scar.
It's not a hard voice to do though.
Yeah, well, that's so. Benedict Cumberbatch is playing him in Andy Serkis's one.
Yeah, that's coming out next year.
We're
getting another Jungle Book next year. You excited, Dan?
I'm definitely never going to watch
this
Jungle
one's
Book
called.
Ever again. Jungle Book is awful.
This one though is just called Jungle Book.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is directing.
Is there a picture of anything?
Nah, not yet. I'm just trying to find out who played Shere Khan.
Because that's what I was thinking during watching the first two movies.
Mm-hmm.
To be a bad cat, all you need to do is vocal fry.
Yeah.
Mowgli.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat you.
Yeah,
Done.
If I heard a
that's
voice,
Scar,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
Shere Khan.
If I heard like a voice clip of either Shere Khan or Scar and didn't know enough about the movies, I wouldn't be able to guess who it is probably. But can you guys think of anyone who would have been better cast for Baloo in Favreau's Jungle Book?
I would have kept John Goodman.
Yeah.
I would have thought John Goodman. If there was no Jungle Book 2, I would have still suggested John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon he's a really good choice.
Yeah, and he sounds enough like him, and he's got the
he's got the joy and the he's got the energy which Bill Murray never has.
Yeah. Whereas I think Walken is a great cast as King Louis. I think Scarlett Johansson was real cool as Car, and Ben Kingsley as Bagheera is kind of like sure.
Oh well, no, Ben Kingsley as Bagheera is really good. I reckon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's not a hard casting.
Yeah. Why? Because he's actually Indian as well, and he's he's like half Indian. I think. But yeah, and he's got that kind of like wildlife. He's got that mentory kind of voice.
And Idris Elba plays Shere Khan in that movie as well. What if it was someone crazy? The first thing I thought of. What if I did? What if I played Baloo? I could do it. Andy Serkis. No, what if
Andy Serkis playing Baloo?
Adam Levine played Baloo.
Okay.
Just someone who sings with an interesting voice. This is what I'm like. There's like another casting. Yeah, I mean, I can hear. Well, that's the wrong song. I can hear, and it's sort of like they're talking about casting Will Smith as the genie in the new Aladdin movie.
Yeah.
And as
How
much
do you feel about that, Dan?
as Will Smith as the genie, Robin Williams' genie.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's not my first choice, but I don't hate it. It's not like, oh my gosh, they got Will Smith. It's like, yeah, get someone different. And Bill Murray was just kind of doing a mix between who Bill Murray is and who Garfield is to play Baloo.
Bill Murray's just typecast as Garfield, man. He's never been able to shake that.
And it's not like I like Adam Levine that much either. It was just a thought. I don't know, who's got a real interesting voice that you could hear doing bare necessities?
John Candy. Bring him back from the dead.
John Candy would be good, yeah.
All you gotta think is fat comedian.
Who's a fat comedian?
Chris Farley.
We're exclusively picking dead ones.
Yeah.
Steve Martin could do it.
Steve Martin? He's not fat.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
That's true. He's halfway there. He's not a bear either. So.
Damn. Bill Murray's not even fit. Melissa McCarthy.
Why couldn't we have a girl Baloo?
Yeah, they gave us a girl Car.
Yeah.
The Mowgli story gave us a girl Bagheera.
Yeah, that was confusing.
Yeah. I can get behind the idea of a girl Bagheera. Yeah. I think that character makes sense. It's a maternal character.
Sure.
Baloo, John C. Reilly.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Look for
it's the bare necessities.
That would be amazing.
He's a real good singer as well.
Yeah, that's a Dan, that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
A thought I had while watching, it started in the Jungle Book 2, and then sort of continued through all of them except for Favreau's one. Like, the three of us, I don't know if I'd call any of us filmmakers, but we're content creators. You know, we make videos.
Yep.
We make a podcast.
You could listen to it.
Or great YouTube series, Sports Appreciation Club.
Yep. We'll give you a plug at the end, don't worry.
Sports Appreciation Club. Thank you.
And, like, I've worked on projects that I haven't believed in, and I've worked on projects that I've really believed in, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being one of the animators of the Jungle Book 2 and being like... like, what? And, like, even further into, like, Mowgli's story. Like, Mowgli's... Like, imagine being the script writer for Mowgli's story, or, like... You know, a gaffer for Mowgli's story and being like, oh my god, like, why are they making this, you know?
Yeah. I don't know that the gaffer would care too much.
No, probably not.
I think Mowgli's story was a particularly bad script.
Yeah.
But, like, all the other ones, you're just like, oh, I'm just making a shitty children's movie.
Yeah, I know, but someone had to be passionate about this.
Yeah, I mean, like, John Favreau's feels like a passion project.
Yeah, exactly, and you can feel that. The John Favreau's Jungle Book is a beautiful movie, and you can feel that it's got a
and
strong
I cried.
Vision. And yeah, like I just can't imagine working on something like the Jungle Book 2, or like I get the Stephen Sommers version as well because it's, you know, it's got flavour to it, or no flavour. I can tell.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, you can see that as being someone watching the original and thinking, what if?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like reading the book and thinking, what if?
Yeah.
I'd work on anything.
At this point, yeah?
At this point,
yeah,
I'd work on anything.
Yeah, if they said we were making a Mowgli story too, do you want to be a gaffer? I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a gaffer is, but I'll do the job.
Yeah, it's involving just use tape, I think.
What's the time of the results come out yet?
No, not yet. Sorry, I release...
When they come out, can we just all be like, oh, they're out, and look at the phones rather than being like, shame fucking dick, you didn't get on.
I don't mind if someone tells me. Why don't you be the one that looks then?
Alright.
What's the time now?
2:31.
It's 2:31.
Alright, we've got 29 minutes to fill of this podcast left. Anybody got any talking points?
I've got a talking point. Yeah. I just made a video on my own channel right now, which you're definitely going to cut this chat out if you want. But someone just corrected me of a stat of a video I made. And I'm just researching now. Am I correct or am I not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do you have any Jungle Book talking points?
No, I used it all up with the vocal fry.
we used...
And then it got me to thinking, do you think the Kardashians were inspired by vocal fry from this movie?
Yeah. Sure.
I think it was.
Probably Jungle Book 2.
Yeah, they wouldn't have seen
That's where the vocal fry is, like, key.
Kim Kardashian is below.
Speaking of fact-checking, we did a little bit of fact-checking during the movies.
Yeah.
In Mowgli's story, he holds up a skunk. Yeah. They're not in India.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken makes several references to the fact that he's a Gigantopithecus, which went extinct 100 million years ago.
Yeah.
100,000.
I feel like they knew that when they were making it, though.
Yeah.
It was like he's the hidden one.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, that was a good talking point for a little bit.
Yeah, and then you shat all over it.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you like them? Like, as a series? As a series...
Yeah.
Jungle Book's not a good movie, eh? Why do people I don't get why people keep remaking it.
I think maybe because you can do a lot with it. It's like clay. It's like set it in a jungle. There's a funny bear. You know, and it's like, sweet, do your own thing with it. And also, I agree. I don't like it.
Because the book is free to adapt. Which I guess is why Andy Serkis is doing it. Because his is supposed to be... he wants us to be like the most sort of direct adaptation of the book. Real dark and...
Yeah.
Have either of you read the book?
No, of course not. There's a few books, I think.
There's the Jungle Book and the second Jungle Book. Yeah. And there's a film called The Second Jungle Book, Mowgli and Baloo. Yeah. Which is just another adaptation of the first book.
Yeah. There's out of the 13 films,
I've seen 5.
Yeah. No, I'm not crazy about the Jungle Book. I like... Until I watch them, I like
talking animals are cute and funny all the time.
As far as Disney properties go, it's not up there. There's not a Jungle Book world in any of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah, but the thing, it would just be the jungle.
There's a Tarzan world. So.
But the thing is that The Jungle Book is perfect for a live-action remake. Because you take something like Lion King or even Beauty and the Beast, it's like, why remake it? It's perfect. The Jungle Book is like, okay, you've got this presumably good original property. Yeah. You've got a kind of half-assed adaptation of it. They did the best they could at the time. Do it now with your passion. Like this is take a good idea that was executed poorly and re-execute it. But rather than remaking good films, you should remake bad films.
With Lego.
The
Lego Jungle Book. So. We talk about titles a little bit on this podcast.
We talk about titles a lot on this podcast.
You knew about this, Daniel, but we talk about titles of movies. The Jungle Book's a pretty I don't have any big problems with it. I guess the Mowgli story is the only one that deviates in any interesting way. Do you have any thoughts on the titles, Richard?
It'd be easier if they called them other things.
Yeah.
But
easier for us.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone wants to marathon the Disney Jungle Book movies, it'd be cool if you called them something.
What I think would be cool is because what are the main characters in it called?
Baloo, Bagheera, Mowgli.
Baloo is just bear in Hindi.
Yeah.
And Bagheera is just panther.
Yeah.
They should call it whatever the Jungle Book is in Hindi and call it that.
Oh yeah.
Someone look that up? No, who cares?
I'll look it up.
I don't know. It's not a book. Wonder why they didn't call it the Jungle Movie. This is shit podcasting. I'm gonna continue the franchise. You guys ready?
All right.
You guys ready?
We're racing through this podcast.
I know. I thought it'd be easy to announce.
It's because they're terrible.
That's the thing. None of us are really passionate
not
about
good.
it.
I don't like it. Here, I'll just talk about the first movie. What it hit me. There's no story.
Yeah.
So a little kid is found in the forest, gets taken, live with wolves.
Yeah.
And then they hear the big bad tiger's back, and getting him from leaving his wolf family, which you never see again, which I think was weird. In every single adaptation, there's wolves throughout it.
Yeah.
In the original, you see them for 5 minutes. These people that raised him for years, and then they just decide, he has to leave, and they don't even let him have a goodbye. It makes no sense. It's really heartless. And you're like, you're going to the village.
Yeah.
And on the way to the village, he runs into a snake, panther gets him out of the snake, a bear, monkeys, and that's it.
And some crows, some vultures.
And
a tiger. It's basically, let's go from this wacky character to the next wacky character.
Yeah.
And then he runs into a human girl. This is only at the end of the original Jungle Book movie. He runs into a human girl who's getting water, and that's what... it's quite a sweet ending, I thought. And then they kind of ruin it in the Jungle Book too by turning out that they just have a love-hate relationship, and it's...
Yeah, she blinked her big brown eyes, I learned in the second movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think, none of us are particularly passionate about this movie, which is why it's going to make this next segment pretty hard, where we have to pitch a sequel. but first of all, this franchise has been kind of continued in a few ways, which I'll go through now. Jungle Book 3 was pitched in 2005. Nothing happened. Favreau is confirmed to be directing Jungle Book 2. What is that going to be about?
What is that going to be?
Because I understand the thoughts behind making a new, remaking Disney classics, because they're classics. No one's seen the Jungle Book 2. Imagine if the Jungle Book 2 gets a live action remake before the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That'd be so stupid.
Yeah.
So I can only assume that he's going to be taking from the second Jungle Book.
Yeah, which none of us know what it's about.
Yeah.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame would be an incredible live action.
Oh, there's plenty that would be incredible. And none of the good ones.
I don't think we really talked about Hunchback, did we?
Probably mentioned it.
Oh, yeah.
The Hunchback would be by far the best live action that you could come up with.
I reckon The Little Mermaid would be good.
That's,
That is getting one.
No, it was...
Was it cancelled?
I think so, yeah. Sophia Coppola pulled it.
Oh, never mind then.
Too much underwater scenes for that one.
But it makes the most sense because there's no iconic voice acting, and there's a story that you can improve on, and
there's a cool song.
The animals and the beasts, they put me out of live action.
Yeah.
I obviously know it's not real.
Yeah.
How stupid.
Yeah.
That's why I think Hunchback would be amazing.
Yeah.
Get a free cup of tower.
Even
John C. Reilly is the Hunchback.
Oh, that is... He could do anything.
Esmeralda.
Who would you cast as Frollo? That'd be an exciting cast.
The bad guy?
Yeah. Because he's my favourite Disney villain. He's such a creep.
Is he?
Yeah.
He sings a song about... Oh, you explain it.
He sings a song about how if he can't have sex with Esmeralda, she should die. And this is in a children's movie.
What a stud.
But like I reckon, Aladdin could work as well because the big CGI character is a big CGI character, so like it doesn't. It's okay. You're not supposed to think that the genie's real.
Yeah.
Whereas like the candlesticks and the beast and shit. Off-putting.
There have also been numerous video games, books, and audio material. There was a sequel to the Jungle Book that was a record released in like the 70s. And there's also been TV shows, including Tailspin in 1990 and Jungle Cubs in 1996. Jungle Cubs I get, that's them as babies, that's the Muppet babies of the Jungle Book universe. But isn't Tailspin a freaking weird idea?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't, just make it a new character.
Yeah,
it's so strange.
Like, obviously started out as a different character and they're like, oh, let's cash in.
Yeah.
They don't even give it the Jungle Book name.
Yeah.
They don't even call it like Baloo's Tailspin or anything like that.
What is it?
So Tailspin is... It follows Baloo and a few other characters from Jungle Book, and Baloo is a fighter pilot, and he flies a plane.
The bear.
And he wears a scarf and a hat, and it's like a quintessential...
And Shere Khan wears a suit.
It's in the same vein as something like DuckTales or Goof Troop, and it's such a weird idea because the Jungle Book has, obviously there's talking animals, but other than that, it's pretty, it is loyal.
Realistic.
It's loyal to its location.
Right.
It doesn't, there's no like wacky celebrity impersonations or I guess there's Louis Armstrong, but like that's more an homage than like a reference. And then like I have to believe they're set in different canons because why would Baloo suddenly be a fighter pilot?
Well, it's 401k. I don't even know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's
a 401k is your retirement plan. Yeah. It's like KiwiSaver here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good joke.
That was a good joke.
Do you want to go into more American text chat?
Because you can tune into my other podcast.
Because all this Jungle Book chat's really going places quickly.
What would people be more excited to hear about?
The NASDAQ or the Shere Khan?
If we're just talking, what on earth is this glass? There's a piece of glass in this room.
That's intellectual property.
It's acrylic.
Is it acrylic?
Don't read anything out on it.
Yeah. But there is... This, do people... Have you shown a picture of what this room like?
There will be stuff coming out.
This is the strangest room I've ever been in. There's a wall of old soda cans.
Yeah.
And then, like, The Last of Us pictures. Way more than anyone that is actually a fan of it. And then DVDs stuck to the wall. And cups you can get from KFC.
Well, you could get from KFC.
Those are collector's items, man.
I feel like you're going to say everything in this room is a collector's item.
Name something, I'll tell you why it's a collector's item.
The DVDs.
This weird black and white picture right here.
That's my favourite band. That was their, literally their collector's edition.
Who is... What's the band?
Me Without You.
Oh, yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast, AJ would love to have you on.
Yeah.
I'm ambivalent.
I know their manager has a Reddit account, but I can't imagine the Venn diagram of Me Without You listeners and movie buffs who like listening to podcasts from New Zealand is particularly...
But what is this piece of glass?
It's just a story, like story ideas for something we're writing.
Ah.
So don't read it out.
It's real. It's real full on. I've just been reading it. I have no idea what... I thought...
Do you think it was like me writing 2,300 times across my window or something like that?
To be honest, I thought it was like these big questions that you were struggling with in your life. Can I just read a couple out?
Nah.
One. The one that says, dressing modestly. And I'm like, why on earth? And then it just has a big question mark next to it. And then an arrow that goes off to something else that I won't say.
Okay. This is fun. This is good. Let's
continue. See you're really awkward about this. We can move on back to the Jungle Book.
I'm happy. I'm not going to cut it out. I can't be bothered, but it's just interesting. interesting stuff to talk about. One day you'll see it on the screen.
Day, yeah.
And they'll be created by Alexander Jones and Richard Martin.
Developed by
Daniel Stevens. And then in brackets, but not the Daniel Stevens.
Is that the goal? You two making movies and creative things together?
Oh, there's just this one TV show.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, just a little something we've been working on together.
Continue the franchise. This is a segment where we pitch a sequel. I'll go first. My sequel is Mowgli versus Tarzan versus George of the Jungle. Who would win? It's a movie. Sure.
I really like that. Like Alien versus Predator type stuff?
Yeah. The three feral children like verse off against each other.
Who do you reckon would win?
Tarzan's
the most powerful.
Tarzan would win. George of the Jungle would die by his own volition. Mowgli would escape.
Yeah.
So I guess Tarzan wouldn't win by that logic.
Yeah.
Which version of Mowgli is it? Is it young Mowgli? Like he is in all of them? Or this weird 23-year-old Mowgli?
Young Mowgli would win. I don't know the older Mowgli would.
Young Mowgli, yeah, Disney. We're going cartoon versions. Well, I guess Brendan Fraser's George of the Jungle.
Yeah.
Haley Joel Osment's Mowgli, and Tarzan from Disney's Tarzan. But the prequel, where he's a kid.
Oh, nice. Well, actually, that leads nicely to my one.
Mm-hmm.
So my one is a live-action Jungle Book 3.
Okay.
So it's done with Jon Favreau's effects, but it's a sequel to the Jungle Book 2, and Haley Joel Osment reprises his role as Mowgli. So it's Haley Joel Osment as he looks now.
Which, if you don't know,
it's like he's
very stout.
Yeah. He's got a beard, and he's
very Alex Jones looking.
Yeah.
I would say he looks like
which
you.
Alex Jones?
You.
Me? Well, he's actually kind of a mix between me and famous Alex Jones.
I think that's an incredibly accurate.
But just this guy, just kind of this schlubby little weirdo, just kind of trying to make his way through the jungle.
Yeah.
So he's come back to the village for for how long? 14 years.
Yeah.
And then he's just gotten right old and put on weight, but he's like, nah, man, I want to go back to the jungle.
Got to feel that jungle rhythm.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis plays Baloo, and he was a bear the whole time.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you have a...
Yeah, I'd do prequel.
Yeah.
Because in the original one...
Yeah.
He just is floating down the stream and just whacks, into a rock.
Yeah.
And then the panther gets him.
Yeah.
And, the other movies that we've seen, there's some, this is how we got there. Yeah. But it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Look, go find this kid.
Yeah.
In the one where he turns really old, well, he turns old and turns Asian halfway through the movie. He just gets run off because, a cart is on fire.
Well, and then Shere Khan attacks his travellers.
And then the, horses take off on the cart that he's on.
Yeah.
No one goes to look for him. That doesn't make any sense. Well, it's a child. Yeah. The kid's dad dies in that attack.
Yeah.
But you would still go and look for this kid at least.
Yeah. There's different interpretations. So, in... where are the list of films? In RK's TJB, I don't know if his dad is there at all, but Sam Neill's his carer. Sam Neill's in that movie, by the way. And then he goes missing, and they're just well, I guess we lost that kid we're not responsible for.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Ah, well.
And then in Mowgli's story, obviously he has a dad and that. But yeah, no, that's a good point. You don't even see him being found in... Oh, no, you do. You see it in a flashback in Favreau's version. You see it in the eye of Scarlett Johansson's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. I like that scene.
I would have him be some, rich kid. He's not just the king of the jungle, but he's also the heir or the king.
Well, King Louie's the king of the jungle.
Well, yeah, he's the king of the swingers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The jungle.
I was actually just thinking of Tarzan, but yeah.
Okay.
But he's also he owns a lot of jungle.
Yeah.
I think, and it's almost Rey from the new Star Wars. How'd she get up on this planet?
Oh, I thought you were going to say
why is she there?
Everyone loves Rey.
I thought you were going to say from Rey. How did he get blind?
Alright, let's do a game. I'm going to give you guys a title, and you have to tell me how that's a Jungle Book movie, or what it's about. Let's start with you, Richard. What's the Arctic book about?
Well, there's a bunch of explorers.
Yeah.
traveling the northern hemisphere, the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
And then this little boy gets separated
Yeah.
and gets picked up by a bunch of reindeer who can talk, and they take him to Santa, who wants fire.
Is there a polar balloon?
Yeah, there's a polar balloon.
Sweet. Santa wants fire.
Yeah.
There's a racist stereotype. Okay.
And Bill Cosby plays Santa.
Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Daniel, what is the city book about?
The City Book?
Yeah.
See, I would say it is the exact same. You're just going to remake George of the Jungle there.
Oh, yeah.
But
Or Jungle to Jungle.
Yes. Oh, Jungle to Jungle is
Another
great
night
type thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to change that.
Yeah.
A baby
Yeah.
drifts down
Manhattan River.
a sewer,
Okay, the sewer book.
gets picked up by rats,
Called Splinter.
cats. There's rats, there's cats.
Yeah.
Teenage Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Ninjas.
just disgusting pigeons.
Yeah. What if it was about a bear that turns up in a city and he's raised by humans?
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
That'd be cool.
I
was actually going to choose that. I was going to do it for my continue the franchise.
Yeah.
I was going to do like a race swapped.
Nice. What? Species
swapped,
Species swapped. What's another one? What's the desert book about, Richard?
This little boy goes drifting on some sand dunes and then gets found by some camels and a cactus.
See, I think it would be better if you go like ants size. Because there's only bugs that live in the desert.
Oh, the bug book.
The bug book. It would be that. Very small, giant grains of sand.
Yeah. Wait, I think they made this movie twice in the same year.
Yes.
Well, okay. What would you do to improve the Jungle Book, Dan? And you can't say just do Favreau's version because you haven't seen it, so you don't know.
Wait.
What?
Oh, I thought I could hear the ice cream truck. It sounds like a nuclear warning now.
Yeah, it's a plane.
Yeah. Well, it could be.
What are you talking about?
I could just hear it sounded like an ice cream man, but then it sounded like a nuclear.
If there was an ice cream man, could we run and go and get ice cream and leave the podcast going?
We would.
And not cut out the silence.
That would be fucking incredible.
You guys go. I'll talk to your listeners.
So what don't you like about the Jungle Book that you want to improve? Like, how would you improve it?
The first one, I'll just put... Because it is just meeting funny character after funny character after funny character. Yeah. I would have those funny characters, be the reason why he needs to do something. Okay. Or a little bit of a change in him. Mm-hmm. Because the whole change in the whole movie is, I don't want to go. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go to the village. Oh, I guess it is quite dangerous. I see a pretty girl. Oh, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. I even just introducing fire earlier.
Yeah. It's that classic early Disney problem when none of the characters have agency. They're just doing what they're told. And
yeah.
They're not making a decision. I think the Jungle Book would have been a cool video game. There's a very next level feeling to the different stages. There's the...
but when you say video game, I'm picturing a full freestanding Atari game that you played in an arcade. Because it's very much you don't need a plot. It's just, okay, now you're at the monkey temple, fight the monkeys.
You could do something like Crash Bandicoot.
That's what I was saying. It reminds me of, if you're going to make a game, it would be Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, true, actually.
And there's the monkey. Your King Louis a boss,
Yeah.
Car's a boss. Shere Khan's a boss.
Baloo's your mask.
Yeah. Baloo is Aku.
Yeah.
Not Uka. Stupid AJ.
One thing I did like in the movies, though, the snakes hypnotising, looking into the eyes.
Yeah.
It's done really well in the first movie.
It's creepy that it's the voice actor of Winnie the Pooh, though.
See, I don't know that, so I don't care.
You didn't notice it was Winnie the Pooh. It sounds exactly like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, in the Jungle Book too, it's the same. It's Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
And I saw a video of Jim Cummings where he's talking about they're go through and do all your Disney voices, and he does all of them, and then he has to say "Let's get dangerous" each time, and then he's Winnie the Pooh, he's "Let's get dangerous," and they're Car, he's you can't ask me to do a car after Winnie the Pooh. It's the same voice. He admits that he just did the exact same voice.
Can any of you guys do a killer Winnie the Pooh impression?
No.
I'm gonna kill you, and I'm Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, that was good.
It's my killer Winnie the Pooh.
No, we got the joke.
Just for those slow listeners.
So, explain. Imagine if it was Winnie the Pooh instead of Baloo.
There we go.
Well, because That was my Winnie the Pooh.
It's weird that he's Tigger and Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh is my most desired impression. I would love to be able to do a Winnie the Pooh impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, man. I'd really like that if you could do it.
I'm probably going to wrap it up now. We've got 6 minutes till any kind of reveal.
Yeah.
But we can fill that time with, hey, Daniel Stevens, aren't you that guy from Sports Appreciation Club?
I am.
What's that?
Sports Appreciation Club is my very silly sports YouTube channel, which you can find on YouTube. Also on Facebook, but I'd prefer if you found it on YouTube because I get some royalties for that one.
I know the feeling.
What do you do?
So weekly, I have a couple of videos come out. At the moment, at New Year's, I challenge someone that by the 15th of August, I would be able to run 3Ks in 12 minutes. Which is because my theory is that it's not even a theory. I once ran 7Ks in 35 minutes.
Right.
So 5-minute Ks.
Yeah.
So I was like, for a much shorter period, I must be able to run a minute faster per K. Much 3 compared to 7.
Yeah.
So I'm training to do it that at the moment. So I'm making weekly videos for that.
Cool.
And I also take a hot topic in sporting in the week in sport, and I make a little video about that.
Yeah.
A lot of edit gags.
Yeah.
A lot of shit jokes.
Yeah. What was your latest video you just released about? This will come out in not this Friday, but next Friday.
But today for listeners.
Today for listeners. In the pipeline that'll be out by then.
Yep. So I interviewed John O'Pryor from John and Ben. We talked about sports conspiracy theories.
Can you give us a teaser? What's a sports conspiracy theory? I don't know any.
Yep, so you know when Michael Jordan retired to play baseball?
Yep.
That was real?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a joke for Space Jam.
No, other way around. It was in Space Jam and they did it for real.
Oh my gosh.
No, Space Jam came later, but yeah.
No, Space Jam was first, wasn't it?
No.
When did he do it?
In 94.
Space Jam was like...
96.
No, fuck, I don't know.
So that happened... but people say he didn't quit to play baseball. He actually quit because he was addicted to gambling at the time, and the league had found out that he's been gambling on basketball games.
Yeah.
And he was the face and the name of the whole NBA. So they didn't want to shame him, break the smash, like it would have destroyed the league. So they just said, take a couple of years off, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, so for all the details, head along to Sports Appreciation Club.
I heard a sports conspiracy theory that O.J. Simpson murdered his wife.
No, that did happen.
Oh, it's not a theory then.
No.
Oh.
He's not even a sports star.
Hey,
what are you talking? Yes, he is.
We do one more segment on the show, and that is, of course, franchise roulette. And what that involves is Daniel here is going to give us a number.
19.
That number correlates to a number on a list we have. What is number 19?
It is Twilight.
Well, we got Twilight coming at you next week.
I'll listen to that one.
So thank you very much for listening. Go look up Dan on Sports Appreciation Club. He also does stand-up around Auckland. If you're in the Auckland area, keep an eye out for that. He's very funny. And if you want to find us, you're already listening to us, but I'm just stalling because it's 2:57 right now, and I want to announce on podcast if the results.
Oh, that's so mean.
Let's do it.
So we are on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook under Cult Popture. You can find us on YouTube under Cult Popture. Similar to Daniel, we have videos coming out on both. But again, I'd probably prefer if you watch them on YouTube. This podcast is a Film Franchise Fortnights podcast, so this comes out on YouTube and SoundCloud. But every off week, when we're not doing a Film Franchise Fortnights, we do just a random topic. Last time we talked about the Lego Cinematic Universe.
What are we going to talk about next time, AJ?
Oh, no, last time we recorded them out of order. So the next one will be, should Joe go see Boss Baby?
Oh, I think they're a bit old to do that now.
Oh, okay. Well, you're running it this week, so
okay.
I don't know what the topic.
It's going to be what is the best movie ever made.
Okay, I've seen Boss Baby.
It's just going to be me. What do you think of it? Just quickly.
Best movie ever made.
Yeah, exactly.
So that covers both topics.
Yeah. What's the best movie ever made? Boss Baby. Should Joe go see it? Yes.
So that's all happening. You can find that on SoundCloud and iTunes, Cult Popture Podcast, if you want to hear our bonus podcasts each week. You can also email us at cultpoptionmedia@gmail.com.
Let us know what your favourite Jungle Book film is.
Let us know, man. It's 2:59. And the last thing you can find us on is Letterboxd. We have a Letterboxd account now, but I'm not sure if that's...
Do you want to give out our address as well?
What's Letterboxd?
Letterboxd is a film review website. I hope the listeners...
Like social media for film reviews.
I hope the listeners are just as excited to find out in under a minute.
But the thing is, they're already going to know.
Yeah, I know, but they might not. If I don't get it, I'm not announcing it anywhere.
Right.
I'm not going to tell anyone.
Well, no, but like our only listeners are our close.
I am going to be so sad if I don't.
this is going to make... Like, what are the odds that all three of us are going to get in as well?
I know, that's the thing.
Very unlikely that all three of us...
We're all white males with
facial hair and
facial
a belly.
hair, yeah. So we all look the same, so I don't know how much...
It's 3 o'clock, boys.
Right, anything? Oh my gosh, they've been announced, everybody. Right. You guys read it, and you guys just tell me if I'm in
recording?
Yeah, we're recording. You ready, Dan?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Let's read the whole list.
No, because these are real people.
Yeah, and we can you can edit around this.
Okay.
Let's read the whole list. And the semi-finalists are...
Do you want to do one each? You go first.
Eamon Kristen from Hamilton.
Daniel Stevens.
I got in. Yes!
You're in, dude!
Finn Nicholas, great guy.
Gareth Blakely.
Yes.
Good on you, Gareth.
Hannah Campbell. Well done, Hannah. She's my girl.
Harley Neville.
Oh, cool. Shout out to... He starred in I Survived the Zombie Holocaust.
Nice. Then we have got Keegan Govid.
Marty or Mozarafi.
Oh, yeah.
Friends with him. I should know how to say his name.
Do you want to say his name again?
No.
And then we got Maya Smith.
Marika Jackson.
Mayan Metha.
Michelle DaCosta.
Mike Keevan.
Nelly Sami. Good on you, Nelly.
It's actually Nelly Sami.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? Like the director? No. What's her name, Sami?
Just read out the rest of the name.
Rachel Roberts.
Ray Shipley.
Roland.
Ruby Esther.
Richard Martin.
You're in. It doesn't matter if I get in now, guys. It's more percentage is more in line.
Ryan Shipman.
Scott Bennett.
Stephen Lyons.
Taylor McLeod.
And Uther Dean.
So I didn't get in.
No, you didn't.
Oh no! No! Oh wow!
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, dude.
I wish you'd just told me.
I
wish you hadn't read out.
I looked over like 3 times and I was like, I can't see your name, but I don't want to say definitely you weren't there, you know?
Oh, I wish you just told me straight up. That was the slowest Band-Aid. Alright, this is the final episode of the Cult Popture podcast. Because I've just clearly got no future in comedy. So
catch us on SoundCloud.
Cut.